Every so often, someone claims to have seen something in the sky that defies logic, technology, and all known physics. These stories are often dismissed as hoaxes or hallucinations. But what if even one of them is real? Across every continent, in every decade, and among every culture, people have described eerily similar encounters with unidentified flying objects and strange, otherworldly beings. Some sightings are quick glimpses of metallic crafts darting across the sky. Others go far deeper, into abductions, telepathic messages, lost time, and physical evidence that simply cannot be explained. Today, we're diving into some of the most disturbing and credible alien stories ever recorded. Paranormal encounters that have haunted lives, baffled investigators, and remain unexplained to this day. The Rendlesham Forest Incident, England's Roswell. In December 1980, a series of bizarre events unfolded in Rendlesham Forest, near a US Air Force base in Suffolk, England. Military personnel reported seeing strange lights descending into the forest. When they approached, they described a glowing, metallic craft with symbols etched into its surface. One officer, Jim Peniston, even claimed to have touched it, and later received binary codes in his mind that he wrote down in a notebook. The next night, the object returned, seen again by multiple personnel, with radiation levels recorded at the landing site. These were trained military men, not ordinary civilians, and their official reports were chillingly consistent. Decades later, the Rendlesham case remains one of the most well-documented and disturbing UFO incidents in modern history. The Pascagoula abduction, robotic aliens in Mississippi. In 1973, Charles Hickson and Calvin Parker were fishing near the Pascagoula River in Mississippi when they heard a strange buzzing sound. Suddenly, a glowing object appeared and three bizarre beings, described as tall robot-like creatures with claw hands, emerged and took them aboard the craft. Both men reported being paralyzed but fully conscious during the medical-like examination that followed. They were later dropped back at the site, terrified and shaken. The two immediately went to the police, and during a secretly recorded conversation while alone, they still spoke in panicked tones, showing no signs of lying. Decades later, Calvin Parker, who had avoided the media for years, began speaking out again, still visibly haunted by what he experienced. The Zimbabwe school encounter, dozens of children witness a UFO. In 1994, over 60 school children at Ariel School in Ruwa, Zimbabwe, witnessed a silvery disc land near their playground. But what truly stunned investigators was the consistency in their drawings and testimony. They all described seeing beings with large eyes, dressed in tight black suits. Even more chilling, many of the children claimed the beings communicated with them telepathically, warning them about humanity's environmental destruction. A Harvard psychiatrist interviewed the children soon after, and their stories remained eerily consistent, unaffected by time or media. These were not attention-seeking adults or conspiracy theorists, just children, many of whom are still adamant today that what they saw was real. The Travis Walton abduction, Fire in the Sky, in Travis Walton's story, is one of the most famous and controversial alien abduction cases in American history. In 1975, while working in a forest near Snowflake, Arizona, Walton and his co-workers spotted a glowing craft in the sky. As he approached it, a beam of light struck him, and his co-workers fled in terror. Walton vanished for 5 days. When he returned, confused and traumatized, he claimed he had been aboard a ship and interacted with strange humanoid and insect-like beings. What gives his story weight is the lie detector tests passed by multiple witnesses, and the fact that nobody could explain how he survived without food, water, or shelter in freezing conditions. The incident was adapted into the movie Fire in the Sky, but the real story remains far more disturbing. The Manhattan abductions, Bud Hopkins. Unsettling research. Bud Hopkins was an artist who turned into one of the most respected alien abduction researchers in the US. he interviewed hundreds of people who claimed to have been abducted, many of whom had never spoken publicly and had no reason to lie. One of the most chilling cases involved a woman in Manhattan who claimed she was abducted repeatedly from her apartment, sometimes even seen floating out the window by neighbors. Under hypnosis, she described sterile rooms, telepathic communication, and repeated examinations. Several of these experiences left physical marks, including scoop, like scars that appeared overnight. Hopkins' files are full of consistent patterns, missing time, strange implants, and recurring symbols, all shared among people who never met each other. The Belgium UFO wave 13,500 witnesses and radar confirmation. Between 1989 and 1990, thousands of people across Belgium reported seeing massive, triangular UFOs with bright lights that made no sound. What makes this wave unique is that it wasn't just anecdotal. These crafts were tracked on radar, chased by fighter jets, and confirmed by multiple law enforcement agencies. One of the most famous photos from this incident shows a triangle-shaped craft with 3 lights, though its authenticity is still debated. Pilots who attempted to intercept the objects reported speeds and movements that defied known aviation technology. To this day, the Belgian government acknowledges the sightings as unexplained and possibly of non-terrestrial origin. The Allagash abductions, lost time and shared nightmares. In 1976, 4 friends went on a camping trip in the Allagash wilderness of Maine. One night, they observed a strange glowing object above a lake. The next thing they remembered, hours had passed, and the fire they had lit was completely burned out. Over the years, they all began experiencing terrifying nightmares of being examined by strange beings in a sterile environment. Under hypnosis, they each described identical scenes of alien abduction and medical experimentation, even recalling details like skin textures and alien eyes. Their art, drawings of what they saw, is hauntingly similar and deeply unsettling. The Cash Landrum incident, radiation sickness after a UFO sighting in 1980, Betty Cash, Vicky Landrum, and Vicky's grandson were driving near Dayton, Texas, when they saw a massive, diamond-shaped object emitting flames and heat hovering above the road. As military helicopters swarmed the area, they pulled over and observed the object for several minutes. Shortly afterward, all 3 began suffering from symptoms resembling radiation exposure, nausea, burns, hair loss, and blisters. Betty Cash had to be hospitalized for weeks. Despite lawsuits and government denials, the physical damage they suffered and the credibility of their story makes this one of the most medically disturbing UFO cases on record. Frederick Valentich, the pilot who vanished mid-flight in 1978, 20-year-old Australian pilot Frederick Valentich was flying over the Bass Strait when he radioed air traffic control to report a strange aircraft following him. He described it as metallic, with green lights, and flying erratically above him. Then, his transmission cut out, with his final words being, "It's not an aircraft." Valentich and his plane were never seen again. Some skeptics suggest he crashed or became disoriented, but no wreckage was ever found. What's even stranger is that multiple people on the ground reported seeing a green light in the sky around the time of his disappearance. The Skinwalker Ranch, a hotbed of paranormal activity. Though often linked to cryptids and poltergeists, Skinwalker Ranch in Utah has been the center of numerous UFO sightings and alleged alien encounters. Former owners reported glowing orbs, cattle mutilations, and mysterious aircraft that would appear out of nowhere and vanish instantly. Even a US government-funded investigation known as AAWOSP's Advanced Aerospace Weapons System Applications Program took place here. Investigators recorded electromagnetic anomalies, unexplained radiation spikes, and aerial phenomena that remain unclassified to this day. Whatever is happening at Skinwalker Ranch isn't isolated, and it seems to defy every category we currently understand. The Kursan Ilyumzhinov encounter, alien diplomacy. Kirsan Ilyumzhinov, the former president of the Republic of Kalmykia in Russia, openly claims he was abducted by aliens in 1997. He says he was taken aboard a transparent spacecraft where the beings, humanoid and dressed in yellow suits, communicated with him telepathically. He insisted they told him they were peaceful and concerned about Earth's ecological health. Strangely, multiple witnesses, including his personal staff, confirmed that he went missing for several hours that night with no explanation. Ilyumzhinov's political status gave weight to the claim, prompting even Russia's parliament to raise questions about possible alien contact influencing a sitting official. The Chicago O'Hare UFO incident, airport staff and pilots shocked in 2006. Employees at Chicago's O'Hare International Airport witnessed a metallic disc hovering silently over one of the terminals. Multiple United Airlines staff, including pilots and mechanics, reported seeing the object before it shot upward through the clouds at incredible speed, leaving a hole in the cloud cover. The FAA initially denied the sighting, but later admitted to receiving reports. Despite widespread witness testimony and photographic evidence, the incident was quietly buried. What was it doing there? And why would such a craft hover over a major US airport during daylight? The abduction of Antonio Villas-Boas, Brazil's first contact, in 1957, a Brazilian farmer named Antonio Villas-Boas claimed he was taken aboard a spaceship by humanoid aliens with blue eyes and red hair. What makes this case unique is his account of being forced into an intimate encounter with a female alien, possibly part of some bizarre hybridization experiment. Doctors later examined Boas and found consistent signs of radiation exposure, including nausea, bruising, and skin lesions. Despite its strange nature, Boas stuck to his story until the day he died and never sought fame or financial gain. The Phoenix Lights thousands see the same thing. On March 13, 1997, one of the most massive and widely witnessed UFO events took place in Phoenix, Arizona. Thousands of residents reported seeing a massive V-shaped craft with lights silently glide over the city. Some believed it was a secret military project, but the sheer size, larger than several football fields, made it difficult to explain. Even the governor at the time, Fife Symington, later admitted he saw it and described it as otherworldly. To this day, no one has provided a satisfying explanation for what was seen that night. Alien implants, a hidden epidemic. Multiple people over the decades have claimed to discover small, unexplained objects in their bodies after supposed alien abductions. These implants are often made of rare metals, emit radio frequencies, or are surrounded by nerves despite no sign of entry wounds. Dr. Roger Lair, a podiatrist, became infamous for removing several such implants and sending them for analysis. Lab tests often revealed materials not typically found on Earth or manufactured through conventional means. If even one of these implants is real, it suggests long-term monitoring of humans by non-human entities, raising disturbing questions about consent, biology, and surveillance. The world of alien encounters isn't just built on blurry photos or conspiracy theories. It's constructed from thousands of consistent, chilling, and often life-altering testimonies. Whether these stories are the result of advanced technology, interdimensional beings, or a psychological phenomenon we don't yet understand, one thing is certain. People around the globe are experiencing something real, and we're only scratching the surface. Stay curious, stay skeptical, but never ignore the patterns in the unexplained. If reality is stranger than fiction, then maybe the truth has already landed among us and left without saying a word. For more deep dives into mysteries the world isn't ready to explain, subscribe and keep your eyes on the unseen.